As the leader of the Booner Path, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome. Good
Come on
Sports.
now.
Jeff Iafrate and Booner. Tuesday, November 18th. We are back officially on the normal time slot, 8 to 10 p.m. The Pistons are on. We'll talk about the Pistons today. Yeah, they're winning.
Pistons talk today.
10 straight games. Cade got his own shoe. Nike, you see that? By the way, I got. By the. Wow. Okay. Let me. Hopefully, we don't get copyright struck for that. But
what happened? Oh no.
Yeah, I do have the Pistons game on.
Man, that's on me.
Did you see the Cade logo on the shoe?
Yeah. Am I missing something with that?
That logo's sick.
Yeah. I mean, wait a second. That logo's been out.
No, but I'm asking you. I mean, we could talk about it. The logo's sick.
Oh, logo is unbelievable. I love his logo. Am I crazy? Did that logo just drop, or did I see it in a dream?
It has been his logo, but now he has his own shoe line for the logo to go on the shoe.
Okay.
So now it's like officially going to be on a shoe, which honestly, that logo on a shoe is sick. The star, the CC to make a star.
It's unreal, dude.
Maybe it's too much glaze, but I think that might, out of all the player,
a little too much.
Or I think it might be up there. All right, I'm not just saying that because we're from Michigan, but it's a fire.
Can
logo.
I ask you a question with these new Cade shoes potentially? This new signature line. What shoe do you think? Because there are like signature shoes, and some of them resemblance each other. What signature shoe do you think his is gonna like resemblance? Like be close to more so like LeBron, KD,
not LeBron. Definitely
D Rose.
I think we'll have some KD resemblance, maybe.
Okay,
KD's. I mean, why not, dude?
Like the Bookers, like D Books, like Devin Booker's. His resemblance like Kobe's a lot. Like in my opinion, like more so like that type of style.
Yeah, I got it. He might take. I mean, it's going to be what he likes. I'm sure he's hooping different, all types of shoes, but. You know, I was gonna say Crown be king. I'm with you, bro. I was thinking of the connection too. Like he's a. I mean, the KDs are good shoes though. KD's got good shoes.
Yeah, he does. KD's had some like I'll tell you what too. KD's had some good ones over the years, man. I've wore KD's for a couple of years before as well.
Yeah, he's got
wore Kyrie's.
But we didn't mention it yesterday. So big. That's big time for a Detroit Pistons player to get their own shoe line. I mean,
that's the first one, right? Like Ben had the and one. Right? Didn't Ben Wallace have like the and one, or that was Chauncey?
Well, that we're talking probably of like massive significance. A Nike shoe is crazy, and then Steph just ended his shoe deal with the Under Armour. So now
I wonder who he goes with.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not with Under Armour anymore. So I mean, it's big for a Pistons player to have a Nike shoe. And I'm getting them. I mean, I'm definitely.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if you're in Detroit, you have to at least just have them. Stack them.
Yeah, I definitely am grabbing them. So shout out, Grant Hill. Shout out to Grant Hill.
Grant Hill had a shoe. I didn't know that. See, I'm learning. This is why we do what we do, man. We just learn every day.
Yeah, we're talking, 20 plus years since a guy. I mean, we're seeing shoes in Detroit. So, I mean, it's big for the city, man. So
incredible.
Shout out to Cade. We'll talk about the Pistons as well. We'll talk about the Detroit Lions, of course, and we're gonna have Flannel Sam on in the second hour. He'll give his thoughts on different topics, Lions, Pistons, Michigan football, Michigan, anything really. And so we'll pick his brain in the second hour. Injury report, we'll have overreaction or no. We're going to talk about that today as well. We had that segment last week. The people liked it. Overreaction or no, we give some things to talk about. You guys drop some in the chat, and we determine if it's worth an overreaction or not. And the Lions just lost to the Eagles, so this should be really fun.
Yeah, this one should be a good one.
By the way, T just said Jalen Reeves-Maybin is a Bear.
Yeah, you know what? So what happened today? I'll tell you this. I actually had a breaking news graphic and a thing ready to go out for Jalen Reeves-Maybin. And as I was sending the tweet, guess what came out? The Malcolm Rodriguez news. So I had to choose which one's gonna, which one's more important, Jalen Reeves-Maybin or Malcolm Rodriguez being back. I chose Malcolm. I chose our guy, Rodrigo. But Germ is a Bear, which is Ben Johnson knows what he's doing over there, man.
Germ is a Bear.
I wonder why the Lions cut him. Like, he wasn't bad at the time. I know it might have been.
The linebacker room is just so deep.
Yeah, but he's a special teams guy. Like, I guess they bring in Grant Stewart, but Germ was like
they chose. Hey, to be fair, you say the special teams got worse without Germ. They chose Grant Stewart for that role over.
Agreed. Yeah. Who chose him?
Well, that would be Brad and maybe Fip. Maybe I'm
Brad.
sure if do you think they asked Fip for that type of stuff? Maybe if they like Grant
They
Stewart,
probably run things by him, but it's probably not more so. Like, you would probably ask Shep over Fip because, he's probably going to also be in the linebacker room. So
I'll tell you what, Germ can you see he can't do what Grant Stewart did when it comes to those fake punts. You see him diving for that first down. Okay, that's a bad joke.
Did you see too today? I saw the Eagles. I think it was the Eagles special teams coordinator. He gave credit to like some random coaching staff guy, some random dude that was like he's been scouting their fourth downs and their fakes like all week, and he knew that it was going to be that play was going to be a punt or a fake. And he said instead of them putting out there, because obviously like if you think it's going to be a fake, you're going to put your defense out there and you're going to have a returner back. And he was like, that's why I didn't even know they left their defense on the field and just put a return.
Bring that up. Yeah.
He was like, that's why they left the defense on the field. If you're Dan Campbell and Fip and you notice their defense is on the field, you punt the ball. Like you just got out chest played. Like you just got out coached. Like that's not even like it didn't work. You just got out coached. They had their starting defense on the field when you fake punted. Like you see that go, hey Jack, we're actually punting. Like we're not running Grant Stewart up the middle on Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
At that point, you should just put Demon out there and let him roll.
Yeah, you're right. They got it's out being out coached. I mean that's what happened. So we'll talk about some of the injured players coming back. I posted a video today kind of talking about it a little bit, but we'll dive more into it. How much will it have an impact on this Lions team as they kind of go forward with the schedule, how things kind of shake up. And, you mentioned, at least the commenter mentioned Germ to the Bears. I heard 97.1 talking about this today, and I wanted to at least bring it up we can talk about it for a couple minutes just before we get to the other stuff. I did want to get your opinion on this. And I'm not bringing this up. This is what they insinuated.
I think I know what you're going to say.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Could the last game of the year against the Bears be for the division? That's what they insinuate.
That's not. I thought you were going to bring up that they had some viral clips today about JMO.
Oh well, we could talk about that too. But I heard they had a discussion about it. If they'll have back-to-back end of the year games for the division.
I did have a thought. There was a thought that crossed my mind after this Eagles game that I was like, and it wasn't the Bears. The thought that actually crossed my mind. I didn't know who the last game of the season was. I think we were doing the post game, or we were kind of packing everything up after the post game show, and it just crossed my mind like, I wonder what divisional opponent we play on the final game of the season because we could be playing for a championship or a division championship and week 17 again, or it would technically be week 18. I didn't know it was the Bears. I thought it was the Vikings. I was like, we're going to get the Vikings again week 18 to win the division. If it is the Lions Bears to win the division,
that would be for storylines. That would be nuts.
That would be good. I mean, it would be good for us content wise, man. Like everything about it would be perfection. Just, I don't know if my body could handle that week and then that game. And if they lose that game, I don't know if I can handle the repercussions of that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Anthony from the D says fire script. That would be a crazy script.
That'd be unreal for the NFL to do that.
Yeah. I know someone in the chat, can we just focus on the playoffs before we get to the division? They're going to make.
Well, if you're playing for the division, you're in the playoffs. So
yeah. So, they're going to be in the playoffs. Okay. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be in this. They're going to be in the playoffs. Clip this, by the way, but they're going to be in the playoffs. Okay. This could age.
I want to take a moment real quick. And Jeff, I just want you to know you're one of my best friends. We're business partners. We do a lot together. We're co-hosts. This is not going to be a shot at you. Like, I'm not trying to hurt. I would never hurt you on purpose, man. Do you remember when you called the division a couple weeks ago? Do you remember? And then what did I say? And I got mad at you. And for a whole week straight, you were like, "You're an idiot, Booner. It's over." And I'm like, "Please stop saying the division's over. Like, please, like, I beg of you, stop jinxing us." And you were like, "Oh, I don't care. I'm going on the air on the air to say it's over." And you did just that. And you went out there and you said, "This division is locked up. It is done." And you were like, "There's no such thing as a jinx because they've already won this division." Do you remember that?
Do I remember it? I have the tweet.
Oh my gosh. This is just an all-time I don't want to be your friend tweet, dude.
Hey,
since 2000, you want to read it?
Read it. You can read it.
Since 2000, 23 teams have won their first 4 games while scoring at least 136 points. 18 of those teams have won their division. It looks like the Detroit Lions have secured the NFC North.
To be fair, laughing face.
No, the laughing face still doesn't do. I text you instantly. I said, "Delete it." And you said, "Nope, keeping it up." And you said, "Sorry, Booner, there's no such thing as a jinx." You did this. This is.
You know what the biggest problem with this tweet was? I said, "My apologies, Green Bay Packers fans." I should have put Chicago Bears fans.
Can we look at some of the comments? There's got to be comments, correct?
How many Super Bowl winners? Well, of those teams, they're 1-6. Okay.
John, Jeff, no. Why would you do this to us? I'm a sicko. I think you were. I don't even think you thought it.
Like
yeah.
And how many teams blew a 15.5 game leaving baseball? Don't we learn anything?
This guy Jeff called the division. What week day was that?
That was after they won
October 3rd.
Yeah. October 2nd.
This guy called the division October 2nd. He called the division fresh out of September, fresh out of the first month of the season.
Yeah. Yep. That's tough.
I'm just saying, hey, just keep that in the back of your mind, Jeff. You really better hope this Lions team wins the division, or I will never let you live that down.
Oh yeah, that one we shot. Yeah, we threw that one out there. We thought it'd stick. I mean, hopefully it does stick. Maybe
you said you,
or I did.
Get that we out of your mouth so fast.
Know. You never know. Maybe Vegas saw my tweet and said, "No, we can't let this guy be right."
Whoever writes the script saw your tweet and was like, "We got to get back in the lab. We got to get back in the writer's room.
We can't let this dude get away with this." I mean, there's no way. All right. Well, I did want to talk about the Detroit Pistons because they're on. I got them in the background right now. They're what are they up? They're up 6 to. Oh no, now they're up 9. And so we have the news about Cade. He's obviously trending. Great news for Cade. He just came out with an interview on, I think, Uninterrupted with KD. It was a great interview. Talked about how he didn't want to go to Cleveland.
The boardroom,
which is a part of Uninterrupted, I think.
Everything is a part of everything.
Yeah, they own everything. So weird, they own everything.
I don't understand it, dude.
Yeah, they but listen, I'll say this. The Pistons they look really good. And they're getting healthy, obviously, again, but they're winning without guys, which Sean nailed this when he joined. I got to give a lot of credit to JB Bickerstaff. How your team plays without your starters it represents what kind of culture you've built. It's like that in football too. It's like that in any sport. And the Pistons play hard no matter who's in the lineup, and they've beaten teams and came back when they were down with a big deficit. A game in which I bet on Duncan Robinson and cashed out because I had no faith, and they ended up pulling it out.
Was that the last Pistons game you bet on?
Yes. I'm going to stay away from it now. But they're playing really well. JB's coaching his absolute ass off. So I will say this team, I was doing some research this week, just looking at where they're at, in different categories. They're a very, very good defensive team. They are second in blocks, second in steals, and they're top 5 in rebounds. So defensively, They are great. They are a great defensive team. It's what they're built on. It goes back to the kind of the city of Detroit, what Pistons teams have been built on. Even though it has been, it's a different NBA, so it's a higher scoring league, better players, so it's harder to play great defense. But they're a really, really good defensive team. They have a lot of length. They have versatility. They have guys that make plays. The only thing I look at with this team, and I guess the fair question would be like, what is a fair expectation or ceiling of this team when it comes to like playoffs and stuff? I think winning a playoff series is still an expectation. I think the only thing that kind of, I guess, is a cause for concern of me personally is not Cade Cunningham. It's not Jaylen Duren, which we'll talk about some of the other players. But when you get into the postseason, the thing I look at and the thing that has success in the league is, can you play defense and can you shoot the ball?
Yeah.
As a team, they're not very good at shooting the ball. They're shooting like as a team, like 33, 34%. If you want to have long-term success, like make a postseason run and make like a conference championship or make a deep final, even a finals run, they gotta get better. They only have Duncan Robinson. Tobias can shoot it at times. Cade is a little streaky, but he can shoot it. But they don't have too many guys that can consistently shoot the ball effectively. That's probably my concern, Boone. But like defensively, they can do it all. Cade's a superstar. They look really good. They look like a team that can win a playoff series, and that's all I expect. But I wouldn't probably go any further, even though they've won 10 games, and it's exciting. But I'm going to temper my expectations. Stay with a playoff series win and enjoy it because they're playing good basketball right now.
To be fair, they're 12-2 right now. Have a chance to go 11 straight. They're up double digits at the moment. I am interested in I don't want to be like, and a lot of people like to get ahead of it, and a lot of fans, I think, like to, over exaggerate in the moment and get really excited and be like, this is a NBA finals team. Like, this team can win the championship. I'm going to hold off until, let me say, is January fair? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think you need, like, I would say in the NBA, you'd probably agree with this. I think right around the All-Star break is when you know what a team is. You get a better
because I don't want to say that's like just a streaky team because they've started 12-2, about to be 13-2. Like, that's incredible. Like, that's one of the best starts that we've seen since 2005, I think it was. So that's something we haven't seen in a long, long time since we've seen a championship in the organization. So I do think that there's a really good chance this is actually a legit team, and especially with the way the East is right now, the East is pretty wide open, in my opinion. They're, with Jason Tatum hurt, Tyrese Halliburton hurt, Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson, right? Like, hasn't really won in the playoffs yet. You haven't seen him he has won. I don't want people to clip that and say, oh, he said that, but like, he just hasn't gotten to a finals yet. So it's pretty wide open. I do want to just see, like, hey, is this something that can withstand over a few month period? Because right now you're not even 15 games in the season. And I think once you get to about 30-ish, 40, and you're about halfway through, you're really going to know a little bit more, like, hey, is this team just a streaky team? And do they have the chance with a really high ceiling, but they're kind of up and down here? Or is this just a legit powerhouse team? Because do you remember, Jeff, like a few years ago, that Thunder team, right? When they took their kind of turn, they just started winning games like this. And it was just like, boom, out of nowhere. And it was like all their young guys just started taking over, and they just learned how to win. Like that was the biggest thing. It was like they lost in the playoffs, and then the next year they came back and they just learned how to win, and they won a ton. I do think though, like with the Thunder, they didn't win their first year in, right? Like it took them a couple years to get in there and just be like, okay, like we need to win a couple series here. We need to do this. We need to go see more what this is like. That's what I think this Pistons team is this year. And then next year, I think it's that full on let Trajan Langdon go in there and go get another big time player, go add to this team, keep the young core, and go win a championship next year. That's how I look at this. I love this team. And you know what? I think the expectations can change in January. Like if they're like 30-10 come January, February, they're a team that can win a championship for sure.
Yeah, and I know the conversation around the deadline is like trading Tobias Harris, which you have to consider it. He's on an expiring deal, and they're probably not going to re-sign him. So I would say that would be a player that you could match a salary with and look into it. I don't know.
Can we just say I haven't had this conversation with you. You're not trading Tobias Harris.
No,
there's no way.
The way it would need to be an offer to where you're getting a very good player who's under contract, like it would, and you maybe give up first round picks or you give up maybe another player, but I wouldn't just deal them for picks or deal them for some like expiring, whatever it is, like some deal just to get off of him, because I know he hasn't played in like 2 weeks and they've been really good without him. but he definitely helps, especially in the postseason. You saw in the playoffs last year how valuable Tobias Harris was. And he's shooting like him and Cade. The reason why their 3-point percentage isn't that great is because guys that are typically better from three are having down years. Cade shooting 28%. Tobias is shooting 28%. Like those guys are not below 30% 3-point shooters. So they're going to improve. Tobias is near, he's like a 36% guy. Cade can get up to there too. So they're only going to get better in my eyes. I agree with you. I think you'll have a better feel for this team near the All-Star break. It's hard right now, but I like Tobias Harris a lot. I think he brings a lot of value. He brings like that veteran presence for the team too. I
do think there's a world where it's like Tobias is kind of, I don't want to say like the full heart of the team because there are a lot of guys on this team who are, but Tobias is a big piece of what they've built. And it's like you get rid of him. Like he's a culture guy in there. He's your vet, right? It's just like you don't want to get rid of your vet in a room full of young guys. And they're like, what do you like? Why'd you just get rid of our guy? Especially if it's this is a younger team still, right? This isn't like a veteran team that's it's a weathered team that they've played in multiple finals. Oh, this is a vet team or a young team that has a vet on there, which is Tobias Harris. That's how I look at him.
Well, who's replacing his role? Like right now they have they've been mixing it up like in this game tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. Like they don't have Tobias Harris, but they have Isaiah Stewart out there kind of playing that role. But like we're talking long term, like you're at your best if Tobias is in that lineup. He provides spacing. Isaiah's off the bench as a backup big. Paul Reed then doesn't have to play. Isaiah's your backup big. Like if you just trade Tobias Harris, I mean, what are you doing as like a spacing four? Who's your four? Yeah. I mean, you're not putting Ron Holland in there. I love Ron. I think he's a really good defender. He can't shoot to save his life. He can't shoot the ball. So like Tobias provides spacing with that starting lineup with Duncan, Tobias, Cade, and whoever's at the 2-guard spot. So I think Tobias brings a lot of things that the Pistons definitely need.
I think it's just an on the court and off the court thing. Like Tobias is a big piece both way on both sides, right? Like on and off the court. And if you trade him, I do think it's a hit. And people can be like, well, if you bring a player that's more talented or can make up for that, I just don't see like. And I know a lot of people in the chat probably do understand this. I know a lot of people who watch this, and you do too as well. It's just like talent sometimes doesn't beat out culture. Just because you're bringing a guy that's more talented in, like if you're giving up a culture guy that's like one of your big hearts of your locker room, that you can't replace that. Like no matter how talented anyone is, you just won't be able to replace that, and it's tough. And that's what it feels like with the Tobias. I feel like those guys would be absolutely like shook out of their boots.
Well, dude, I mean, I got to give a big shout out too. Like Jaylen Duren has been a very good player. He's been a borderline all-star. I mean, he's averaging 20-12, 2 assists. He's shooting almost 70% from the field. He's 6th in field goal percentage, 5th in rebounds. Like he's giving you 20-12 a night, and he's shooting almost 80% from the free throw line. So he can shoot free throws too. So
Jaylen Duren's been playing incredible.
Yeah, he's been the co-star. I mean, he's Cade's guy. He's the only guy giving him 20 besides Cade. So he's been the most consistent outside of Cade. I mean, he just came off a game yesterday against the Pacers, which they won by, I think it was like 13, 14, whatever points it was. He had like 31 and double-digit rebounds, like 31 and 15 or something like that. So
what would you like? And I actually thought about this. I know Caleb did a video earlier. Like, where would you put him among centers in the NBA right now? Like, do you think he will be if he keeps playing, doing what he's doing? He's averaging 20 and 12 right now, which is insane. And on top of that, over a block. Where would you throw him? Almost 5 offensive rebounds a game too, which is insane. But like, yeah, where would you throw him in centers? Do you think he's going to end up being an all-star? Do you think he's a top 5 center right now in the NBA?
I think right now you could probably say I would say in the top 10, probably like anywhere I would say between like 6 and 10, somewhere in that range. I'm just going off the top of my head. I mean, you have like you're looking at like Jokic, Embiid, Victor.
Sengun is above him.
Sengun, that's where we just rattled off 4 guys. I mean,
Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't know if you would
like Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, and people would say Karl-Anthony Towns is trash, but
Jaylen Duren is 4th in points per game amongst centers.
He's in that. I would say even
Fourth.
top like 6, 7, 6 somewhere in there, and he's only rising. Mobley's right. I think he's been better than Mobley this year. And Mobley
For sure.
played power forward,
He's averaging more than Mobley and more rebounds as well.
yeah, he's
by a
up
lot.
there. I would feel confident saying he's maybe top 6 to 10 is a disrespect. He might be a little higher than that, but he's been very good.
Are you top 5? Yeah, you can make that
definitely
argument.
argue top 5 this year with guys.
Because I
for
wouldn't
sure.
even put Wemby in that. Would you?
I mean, that's the thing about today's NBA. It's so tough. I mean, he's a center, but it's like, how do you even I don't know. How do you is Anthony Davis a center? Because he's technically better than Jaylen Duren, but I don't know. Is he a power forward? Is he a center? I don't know.
Can I just throw something by you real quick? This is off topic, just real quick. I'm just gonna throw something by you. I want you to answer as fast as you can as soon as you hear it. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All time, when careers are over, career done. Shaq or Jokic?
Shaq.
When Jokic's career is done, at the end of his career.
I would say Shaq.
Shaq or Tim Duncan?
I would say Shaq. I'm a big Shaq guy.
I'll give me Tim Duncan.
The
I'm a
only
big
reason
Shaq
why
guy too.
I say Shaq. I think the reason people wouldn't say Shaq is because of the later years in his career, he got lazy. But at his peak, no one was fucking.
Maybe his peak, but Tim Duncan, dude. I was looking at it today. Tim Duncan, Shaq had 3 all defensive NBA teams. Only three, and they weren't even first. They were just. I think I believe. Maybe I looked at the stats wrong. I could have, but either way, Tim Duncan, 15 total All NBA, 15 seasons on the All NBA team, and 10 plus of them were on the first team.
No,
2 MVP. I would take Tim Duncan. I think Tim Duncan's, you could argue, top 5 all time. And if you watch Tim Duncan, that man is insane. Insane. I think I'm with you. I think, and Jomo put it in the chat, Shaq was unguardable. I think if you're talking about just pure dominance, Shaq at his peak, no one could guard him. If you're talking about career and all time, I think I'm taking Tim Duncan based off of what he did. Because I think it hurts you. If you were lazy and you dropped off or you weren't as good, I think you should be rewarded if you had a longer career and were that good for that long. 15 All NBA defensive teams is insane. Insanity, dude. And he had more All NBA teams as a whole. He had more All NBA first teams as him. Every single thing that you could think of, Tim Duncan had more.
Yeah, Tim Duncan's one of the most underrated players in all of NBA history. I've just been inconsistent. I've always had Shaq in my top 5. I just think him, and I got a lot of respect for Hakeem too. But Tim Duncan, I'm just talking about among centers, but Tim Duncan's in that. He's in that conversation.
I used to love watching Tim Duncan.
I think the only thing definitive, in my opinion, all time when you're talking about all time players is the top 3. I think after that, anything's arguable. That's how I think.
What are your 3?
I think it's LeBron, it's Michael Jordan. I'm not saying any order. I'm just saying these are the 3 you have to have in Kareem.
All right.
And then Kobe, you could throw Kobe, Shaq, Tim Duncan. You could throw, whoever the hell you want to throw. Magic.
Throw Will or Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. That at that point, you're kind of just arguing. But those 3, in my opinion, you have to have.
Steph is now in the top 10, by the way. In my top 10, he's entered.
Yeah, I see. You can probably argue that as well. There's a lot of you could argue those, but yeah, Jaylen Duren's been incredible, man. Shout out to him. I don't know what he's doing tonight. I feel like he's having I haven't watched the game since we've been on the show, but
let me pull it up. I can be stat guy here. I got it. Ready?
They're playing back to back. What does he have tonight?
I got you right here. Pulled it up.
Off of
Chaz Lanier 3 for 4 from 3, by the way, which is unbelievable.
I was waiting on the game from Chaz.
Yeah. Jaylen Duren 8 points, 1 rebound in
4
the
for
second
5
quarter, about
field.
to be halftime. Yeah.
Off of
Cade
back
Cunningham
to back.
4. Cade with 4, 5, and 8 assists. He's just out there dishing. He's really not trying to score.
By the way,
He's
Larry
shot
Bird's
3
in there
times.
too. By the way, top 10.
Yeah, no, Larry Bird's top 10 all time
Definitely.
as well. Yeah,
you got to talk about him. But yeah, so he's having a good game tonight too. It doesn't matter. Dennis Jenkins. I want to talk about this real quick before we move on because I wanted to mention this. Dennis Jenkins been balling.
Yeah. What do you do with the Dennis Jenkins thing with Ivy? Because Ivy, breaking news today, playing with the G League right now, and he's training. He's getting back.
So my opinion on this is very simple. I do believe Jaden Ivey is a good player who can help this team. But the risk of getting injured, and this happens across all sports, is when you get injured and your team has success without you, you have to prove when you come back that you can complement that success and be a part of it. Like when Ivy comes back, Dennis Jenkins has been playing and he's been balling. So now Jaden Ivey has to come back and prove to everybody that, hey, I could be a part of this and we won't drop off. Like if Ivy I wouldn't just insert him back into that starting lineup. Like that man's coming off the bench until he proves, like, to me, I think what they got going is great. Like they're playing really good basketball. I don't want to mess it up. And if Ivy comes back and they start struggling, like that's a tough conversation. Like they're playing really good basketball, man. Like they are. Dennis Jenkins is balling. He's averaging like 12 a game. He's shooting almost 50% from three. I mean,
I just don't see a world. I think with Jaden Ivey, he just have to. He knows he has to come back and work. Like you have to prove it. You can't just come in and just be like, "Hey, my spot's back." Especially with the team that potentially could be 13-2 today, and then whenever Jaden Ivey does get back, it's just like you don't know what they're going to be. They're playing some of the best ball in the NBA as a whole. Dennis Jenkins looks incredible, and you have to come back in and you kind of have to. And I think this is the tough part with Jaden Ivey. And that he could run into, like, one, you have to kind of just fit like a glove. Like you have to come in and just like blend in, right? And he is one of the best players on this team, skill wise. He's gonna have to find a way to blend in, and he's gonna have to kind of find his own role within this team because it's a different team. Quite frankly, like it sucks for him because when he went down, he was kind of the man. Him and Cade. It's a different team than when he got hurt, last year. It is. Like they've played a full season last year and went to the playoffs, almost won a series. And then now they're one of the best teams in the NBA. And they did that all without him. So I think for the Pistons, it's a positive because it's essentially like you're just adding a really good basketball player to this lineup, which is you're already good. So you're adding a great player in. But number two, it's like if you're JB, man, you just got to be careful. You got to make sure you do it the right way and you don't mess up the flow. And there's a chance too, man. Like he gets back and it could be bad luck. They start dropping a couple and the fan base kind of turns on him. And that's just reality. Like, and I'm sure Jaden Ivey thought about that, and maybe not. Maybe he's kind of just keeping like head straight and just let's roll. But that's a possibility that he comes back and maybe they struggle a little and they drop some games and the fan base is, hey, it's time to move on.
Because I'll tell you what,
I want him to work out though.
I'll tell you what, Tobias Harris, he's coming back soon too. And guess what? He takes 10 shots a game. Ivy comes back. He's going to want his shots. But guess what? You're not taking shots away from – Cade's going to take a little bit.
What are you going to do, though?
You don't want to sacrifice Jaylen Duren and Cade and those shots they're getting.
Who do you sacrifice? Someone does because you're – like, realistically, like, Jaden Ivey's going to come back, and he is good. Like, I don't want people to think he's not good. He's better than Dennis Jenkins, like, realistically. Dennis just had really good stretch of ball. And
he's just playing a really good basketball right
now. But, like, Jaden Ivey, we know what he is, man. Like, he's a really good basketball player at the end of the day. I just don't know how they're going to, though, make this all mesh together. It's going to be really interesting. It really is.
Now, I did want to play the clip. Dan Campbell giving an update for some of the injured players. We didn't get to it yesterday because it was talked about after the show. So we'll talk about who's coming back for the Lions, how they can help this roster, and what do we think about this roster going forward. And then we'll get to overreaction or no. We'll talk about the defense, and then we have Sam Flannel joining. So before we do that, hear about our friends over at Sleeper. We'll see you guys in a minute. I've interrupted the video to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper and the new promotion they have going on. A brand new promotion is now live on Sleeper that could be paired with the 100% deposit match promotion that's already been going on. It's a free $20, no deposit required, plus first-time users will also receive 100% deposit match up to $100. Use the code CT Sports. You guys should already be using Sleeper. It's one of the fastest organically growing fantasy platforms in the entire world with millions and millions of active users. They are crushing it. And if your state allows it, you should be using Sleeper Picks. It's a real money product that connects friends over picks. You just choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame live or across different sports. Pick more or less than the predicted stats. And on Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. Share with your friends. Get rewarded together. Don't forget, code CT Sports. Get a $100 deposit up to $100, and you got your free $20 entry. Sleeper is taking care of their customers. Always remember, gamble responsibly. Now let's get back to the video. All right, Dan Campbell spoke yesterday, about some of the injury updates. Here is that clip. We'll play it. We'll give our thoughts on it. What does it mean for the Lions? But here's Dan Campbell speaking about the injuries.
We're going to get him a week of work here and see where he's at. obviously Davenport's getting better. Probably going to start Dorsey's clock this week. Rodrigo is looking better, is getting better every day. So, probably Reed and Rodrigo right now would be the top of that list, but Pascal's getting better. We're kind of getting in a good place here.
Progressing.
He's getting better. I don't know, like you asked me right now, I don't know if I see him in this week, but he is getting better. DJ Reed looks pretty positive here. We're going to get him a week of work here.
Guys are coming back. DJ Reed trending back, Malcolm trending back, Josh Pascal trending back, Davenport trending back. I'm sure TA will get out of that concussion protocol. Kirby Joseph trending in the right direction, I'm assuming. Hopefully he's back for some of these bigger matchups. The only thing I talked about today is all the guys returning are assisting on a unit that is already elite. That's the part where I'm like, I'm still excited they're coming back, but the defense has already been very good, and they're just going to make them very good.
How nice would it be if there was like a couple Pro Bowl offensive linemen coming back right now?
It's like Frank Ragnow is set to return. Kevin Zeitler has been traded for, and Taylor Decker all of a sudden has been healed by the grace of God. So now he is healthy. That's what I want to hear. All right, this offensive line needs they need some magic to happen.
They do. They need.
I guess the rookie's going to save everything. I mean, that's really
what. Imagine if Miles Frazier comes in and it's just like a banger right away. He's just like a prime Kevin Zeitler.
It's just
you don't believe it. You didn't like what I said.
I don't think a very
For
you
sure.
know what I think. I think Miles Frazier, it could come in and be good, and I think unless he could play center and be very good, my worry is Graham at the center position. Like I really do believe if they had a very, very good center, just somewhere, if they drafted somebody or whatever, I think this offensive line wouldn't be as bad. I think if you had your tackles, situated, or you're confident in your tackles and you were confident in your center, you could get away with Tate and like another okay guard. But they don't have an anchor at center. They have an anchor in the bad way. He's literally weighing them down, like that type of anchor, not like a good anchor. It's a bad anchor. Like, oh, we're stuck. We can't go anywhere. We stink.
Hey, maybe there's a legit world. And listen, this is going to sound crazy to Lions fans because we have not seen this since Dan's been the head coach. Once Kirby comes back, DJ Reed comes back, because it sounds like DJ Reed's going to be back soon. Kirby after this week, so you'll probably get Kirby for Thanksgiving. Then you have Malcolm Rodriguez coming back this week as well. Terrion Arnold most likely this week. That's 4 potential 3 starters and 1 high-level bench player. Lions fans might not want to hear this. Maybe just all year you win defensively. Maybe you win the Super Bowl with your defense. Maybe you're like the Patriots. Just maybe. Maybe this is like a Patriot team. And Jared Goff is Tom Brady.
Yeah, based on
no one likes that confidence.
That wasn't Tom Brady, man. That was definitely not Tom Brady on Sunday. I'll tell you this. The defensive stuff, I love it. I really do. It ain't gonna happen. You need. I mean, they have offensive talent, so it's not a lack of. That's the frustrating part is they have the offensive talent. It's not like this offense is like the Denver Broncos when it comes to like Bo Nix stinks and they can't score points. Like they're capable. They have offensive talent.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's partly play calling at times. They just haven't gotten in a rhythm. They got in a rhythm against the Commanders, but they haven't had a consistent rhythm for like a stretch of games yet. And their offensive line is just not up to par, or they're not consistent enough. Like that's where the problem is. It's not like a skill position problem. Like they have dudes that can make plays everywhere, like literally everywhere. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it comes down to the only thing they can really do at this point is just Dan's going to have to find ways to, and he kind of mentioned this at the end of the game and this on Monday. He's like, I got to figure out ways to make this make it easier for Goff. Maybe it's different personnel. Maybe it's, he kind of mentioned it, how he has a couple ideas, but he has to kind of make the most of what he has offensively on the offensive line. He just has to make the best of it. I don't know. And that's because they didn't add anyone. I mean, this is all they got. They have Yodi, and Mahogany ain't going to be back for most of the year. And I'm going to be honest, even when he was in there, it wasn't good. So it's not like he's going to be the savior either.
Yeah,
So,
I think if you're relying, listen, like if you know what you are offensively, that hey, you're gonna have sometimes some games that you're gonna throw up 30 points, and you don't know when that is. Like you're just gonna show up randomly offensively, and you're gonna decide like, hey, when we're going up against a good front, we're gonna be trash on offense. Okay, if that's gonna be the case for this team, fine. But there's two things that need to happen. One, you need your defense to be able to step up, which they have, right, Jeff? Like the defense has stepped up so many times, and they're going to continue to have to. Like, have we seen a team win a Super Bowl based off of defense, Jeff? Have we seen it?
Yes. Are you talking about just off of defense?
I'm just saying a team that has a really good defense and an average offense win a Super Bowl. Like we have seen that. We've seen dominant defenses go on runs where their offenses are competent to be able to kind of stay in the game, right, and give the team a chance. The number two thing that has to be true is Dan Campbell. Like, hey, I know this season. Like, I know a lot of people, and I've heard this a lot, and the docs told me this. Like, a lot of people feel like that maybe they don't have a feeling that they could win a Super Bowl with their roster. Like Brad Holmes, the reason he didn't go trade and go all in is because he doesn't have a good feeling that this might be a Super Bowl roster. Okay, if you don't feel like that and you don't have an offense to win a Super Bowl, let's use the defense to an advantage. Guess what Dan Campbell needs to stop doing? Like, maybe you have to adjust and just not go for it on these fourth downs and be less aggressive. Like, if your defense is going to help you win football games and that's going to be your identity for this season specifically because of your O-line, then you just need to adjust a little, and you can't put your defense in those positions, and you have to give them every advantage possible. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what this team's going to be built on. Like, I know Buddy in there says this defense is not elite, Boone. It's not elite, but that's your best unit. And as of right now, your best unit is your defense. Yeah, you have better weapons and you have better personnel on offense, but they just don't. They don't look like they're a Super Bowl offense, and there's really no signs of them getting there. Like, there are some versus bad teams. First, every good team, there hasn't been a sign that offensively they can play really high level. The only signs we've gotten of them playing high level is defensively. That's it versus good teams. So, like, maybe it has to be a defensive team, and you're getting all these pieces back that are going to help you out. Like, a lot of you guys are like, they're not elite on defense. To be fair, they've been out with with no secondary players. Kirby, DJ Reed. You add those guys back. Maybe you add Davenport and Josh Pascal back. Hey, man, maybe this is just a defensive team, and Dan's got to kind of switch his mindset of, hey, let's give the defense put them in every position to be successful. Let's stop going for it on fourth downs and giving them short field. Let's try and start pinning teams back inside the 10 so we're able to do that. So this is just me being like, what's the best advantage to win the Super Bowl? That might be the way. Yeah,
because I think when people would mention, like, I see people in the chat, like, are we talking about the 2000 Ravens or the Trent Dilfers of the world, or even the Joe Flacco's of the world when he won in 2012 with that Ravens defense, which was like number 2 in the league? It's not even that. Like, number one, those defenses are like, I mean, those are more exceptions, but it's not even. But my point is, this isn't even a bad offense like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this offense has more talent than any of those. Like, this offense is not like the Broncos would be like what their fan base is talking about. Like, can we?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe though you have to lean a little more on defense, and you do have on offense. You have capable competent players. Offense to where maybe in some of these games they can go off. But you do know, hey, we're going to get a game in the playoffs that this offense might put a dud out there. We need the defense to step up in that game.
Well, they need. It comes down, to be honest with you, the only thing that's going to ride on is it's going to fall heavily on the offensive line's shoulders and Dan Campbell's play calling. That's really what it comes down to. That's it. It's just, where does this team in the playoffs, when you're calling plays, Are you going to have moments like you did against the Eagles where you just botch the game from a coaching standpoint and the offensive line stinks? Or are you going to maybe, play better, protect Goff a little better, and not go for it on 4th down 15 times in a game where it didn't call for it? Like, that's really what it comes down to, I think, in the playoffs. Like, whether or not to make a playoff run is going to be – those two things are going to dictate whether or not they have success in the postseason. That's it. Like, the defense we know is good. We know they have offensive weapons. What's the best way to get these offensive weapons involved, and how do we play to our strengths and also kind of hide our weaknesses, which is our offensive line at this point, our interior offensive line? That's really what it comes down to. And that's going to fall a lot on Dan, but it's already been reported. Dan's calling plays for the rest of the season. So it's like it's on John, all his coaches, right? What do you say? It's a collective thing? John Morton scheming? Whoever's scheming, they're going to have to figure it out, dude. Because if they can't get it together, they are boned. Like they're boned.
I mean, offensively, honestly,
they have talent. They have talent.
Can I ask you this? What's the minimum offensively that you think that they can give this team and this defense to put them in a position to win a Super Bowl? And what I mean by that is, like, right now,
that's so hard to answer, because they can score 40 in a game.
That's what I'm saying. What's the minimum you
Or
think?
they don't.
Because we know they could put up that, but like throughout their runs, what do you think like the minimum? Like, hey, they need to at least go out there and get you 20, 25 a game, or they need to go out there and.
You know what I want? How about this? You know how we talked about ranking before the year, like where they'll rank? I would rather them be a top 6 offense, but consistent, rather than like a top 2 offense that has duds. And then they scored like an inconsistent top 2.
Okay. That's what I was asking for.
Like, they need to be more consistent. Yeah. That's my problem. It's not about the 50 against the Bears. I don't give a shit what you score against the Bears. It's like, what are you against good defenses? So it's like,
I wonder
it's so hard to answer that question because they're so inconsistent. I don't know what I'm getting on a week-to-week basis. I don't know. They could score 40, or they can score, like they did against the Eagles, against a good defense, score 9. I mean, which they haven't done in a while, to be fair. But you get my point. Like, I don't know what to expect. I really don't. And that's kind of scary, to be honest.
It is. It really is, actually. But I'm with you, though. That was kind of the question I was asking was, like, what's that minimum number that you could be like, hey, I would rather have this than the inconsistency of this offense.
And that would definitely, like this weekend, could they put up 40 on the Giants? None of us would be surprised.
They probably will. They're 10-point favorites. They probably
Or could they win 27-13? They could also, or maybe 24-13. Like, they could do that too. I don't know.
The thing that bothers me, and you know what? I'll say this too, and I really do hope Dan, maybe he's seen my tweets and maybe he listens to us. I don't know. But I really hope they're hearing it, where it's just like, can you guys just please get back to your bread and butter, run the ball, like establish the run game. It just, if you go back and look at and I know the games they win, it's not versus the best defenses, but it's just like, it feels like there's an underlying thing every single time they win a football game, Jeff. They have a great running game every time. And you go back and look at their wins and they're like, oh, great running performance from Demo. Great running performance from Jahmyr Gibbs. Great from both of them. Great from one of them. And it's like every win is like that. And then every loss, you're like, who ran the ball? No one. No one could. No one. Every loss, you go for 3.1 yards per carry or whatever it is. Like, it's like eye-opening a little bit. And
said the same thing. Appreciate the crunch.
Yeah, and shout out Steve, man. Steve Lehman, absolute legend. But that's literally what it is. It's just like I put the tweets out yesterday about Demon. It's like, dude, Dan, you run the ball. There's literally a possession where you run the ball 1st and 10. David Montgomery gets 7 yards. It's 2nd and 3. Pass on 2nd and 3rd down, and you go for it on 3rd and 3 or 4th and 3 after you just passed it twice, and you pass it again and incomplete. And it's like, have you ever seen in the last 2 years the Detroit Lions run the ball for 7 yards on 1st down and not run the ball the rest of that possession? Never have seen that. Never. Especially in a cold game on the road in Philly.
Well, that's what Philly did. Philly ran the ball for 3.2 a carry. I think
it's shocking that they haven't opened their eyes and just been like, we need to run the ball 30 plus times a game. Oh, we're doing it 20 times ever. They're like averaging like 20 runs a game in losses. Do it 30. Like run 30 times a game. I don't care.
Dude, in that type of game against the Eagles, I would have got a dude in those, like, in that type of those conditions, and you're not having success in the pass game, dude. I would have gave Monty double-digit carries and gave Gibbs double-digit. They should have both gotten like 15 carries each.
Especially with D-Mont the way he was running it, dude. He was getting 5 yards a carry every time. He carried it 6 times. 4 out of the 6 times, he was over 4 yards per carry, over 5 yards per carry.
Because you know what, though? You know what Philly did? They this is actually the interesting part of what happened on Sunday. Let me see. I want to make sure I get this exactly right. They committed to running the ball, obviously. I think Saquon had like 20-something carries, and they didn't look good offensively, but they leaned on the run game because that was the type of game. He had 26 carries. But you know what the stat that led to that? It was time of possession. The Eagles ran for, they ran all those yards, didn't get a lot out of it, but they committed to running the ball. And they had the ball 10 more minutes than the Lions did.
Jeez.
You
only lose by 1 possession.
Yeah, I mean, Tank Bigsby gave him a spark. He had a couple carries. Saquon, 26 carries, 83 yards. He ran for 3.2, and they kept running it. Like, the Eagles had every right to be like, fuck this. Like, Jalen Hurts over the last couple weeks has been throwing for like 280, and they still were like, not in this game. This ain't the game, man. We're going to commit to the run. We're going to stick with it. The Lions ran the ball as a team 21 times. The Eagles ran it 40. They ran it double the Lions. Double.
And like, this is the point too. Like, is it Keys? Yeah, Keys. Dan tried to run early. Both running backs got nothing. 10 carries for 23 is how the running backs on the line started. You do not bail on the run, man. You keep figuring out a way, and you figure out a different scheme. You figure something out, but you can't just go away from the run and just throw the ball 30 something, 38 times or 37 times, whatever it is. You won't win a game like that. Like, Jeff's brought the stats up of like Jared Goff throwing 35 plus times what the record is or whatever it was. Like, it's not a good look, and it's not a recipe to win. And it's like, well, the offensive line isn't playing well. Okay, you got to draw something up, and you have to get different personnel in there with like adding Dan Skipper in there, getting an extra tight end in there. You have to figure something out to be able to establish this run. You do. You really do.
Yeah, it was clear to see that game was not a game where Goff throws 40 times. They weren't, unless the game was 28-7 in the fourth quarter. Then I say, you know what? Screw the run, man. You got to just throw the ball. You're down multiple scores, dude. It was they're down like a what was it? It was like they were down like a field goal or two, couple field goals, and they didn't take points. But it was a gritty, grimy, disgusting game. That's the type of game where you put it on the shoulders of your running backs. You take the ball out of Goff's hands only because he doesn't get sacked and hit as much. How do you think – this is the problem I have. People will say, why would you run the ball more if your offensive line isn't playing well? So you should pass it and have Goff drop back 37 times if your offensive line's not playing well? That doesn't make any sense. The point of running the ball is you protect your quarterback, you protect your offensive line. Also, it keeps the defense honest. That's what it does, because if you're running the ball, the defense has to understand you can implement play action, and then the defense is going to go, well, is it a runner or a pass? They got to a point, Booner, where they gave up on the run. The defense literally just pinned their ears back. They knew the Lions were passing it, and they just rushed Goff. I mean, that was just how it went. So that's what happens when you bail on the run. Jared's one of the best quarterbacks in play action, and they didn't run the ball as much as they should have.
Yeah,
that was the mistake right there. So I agree with you. They got to get back their identity. I mean, that's really especially in that type of game, man. Like,
for sure. And people want. Okay, this is the thing I want to make clear too. Just so people know, like someone put in there like, only reason they did it this week is because of the O-line, this, that, or like the last loss too. I'll take the Vikings away. Go to that Chiefs loss. David Montgomery had 4 carries that game in the Chiefs loss. And if you want to be like, oh, he wasn't running the ball well, he averaged like 5 yards a carry in his 4 carries. He had a 3-yard run in the Jeff. Like, this is what's incredible to me. Did they not struggle to score versus the Chiefs kind of after the first that one?
Yeah,
remember they had the possession.
They struggled, yeah.
Their first, and guys, like, this is what I'm talking about, of just being consistent and establishing the run. After their first possession, they scored a touchdown. They scored a touchdown on the second possession of the game. Who was in there? David Montgomery. David Montgomery in that possession where they scored their first touchdown versus the Chiefs, he had 3 carries, 1 for 3 yards, 1 for 13 yards to go get a first down, and another for 6 yards, and it marches them up the field to go get a touchdown to take the lead 10-3. Guess what happened after that, Jeff? I'll give you a guess. If you remember how many carries I said that he had all game, 4 carries. They go to D-Mount one more time the rest of the game. Once. And guess what happens? They couldn't score the rest of the game, and they lose the game. And they try all these other different things. And I know that was John Morton calling plays then, but it's like, hey, they're like,
it's still popping.
You
up.
have an identity with what this offense is. It's pounding the ball with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, putting Jahmyr Gibbs in positions in the open field to make a play. And then it opens everything else up, man. And even if you have a bad old line, like D-Mont has showed in moments that he can go out there and make plays. But you have to give these guys opportunities, especially a guy like David Montgomery, man. There's no reason versus the Chiefs he has 4 carries, and one of the 3 of the 4 carries he's really good. And then in this loss, he has 6 carries, and he's averaging almost 4.5 yards per carry. And you just don't use him. There's no reason for that. It's inexcusable, to be honest. And that's what your offense is based on.
Yeah, I wonder, has he been asked about D-Mont's lack of usage?
He did earlier in the year. I mean, I can ask the doc next time he's in.
I would straight up ask the exact question you are bringing up. Like, hey, in some of your losses, it seems like D-Mont's kind of got the lesser of the carries there. Is there a reason? Or like, what's kind of the reason for his lack of involvement? Because the losses. I mean, they're losing games and he's not involved. Not that that's the only reason, obviously. No, because I mean the Vikings game, I believe in the Vikings game. I mean, they lose by 3. Everyone was bad, but he had majority of the carries. He had 11 for 40. When Jahmyr had 9 for 25. So they just couldn't run the ball at all in that game. But I mean, if you just like kind of look at those two, like the 2 big losses when you talk Eagles, Chiefs, those are the ones where you're a little like, it's eye-opening because it's not like he was running the ball bad. He ran the ball 4 times, and in one possession, he had, 3 carries for 20 plus yards, and they just don't go back to him. Steve said I sent Doc a message. So Doc's already did. By the way, this is good. You guys do this.
Everyone should message Doc about this D-Mont thing. I'll text him tonight once we get off the phone.
Detroit Lionheart says, I don't understand if we're going to go for it on 4th and 1 up the gut using Gibbs and not Monty. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's criminal. It's malfeasance. It's blasphemous. It's what's another word? Sam.
Did D-Mont get 1 fourth down touch?
Yeah. I don't remember. I just know I only have one vivid memory, and it was the third. It's the 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 where they gave it to Gibbs up the middle, and he got stopped. Demo falls over, he gets it. Like I don't understand. That one I don't understand.
Hold on, I want to count this real quick.
That one to me is just common sense. Like Monty, he's been on your team. Like that's don't even overthink. I don't know if they were trying to maybe make him overthink. Maybe they thought like, oh, this could be a pass with Gibbs in. Like maybe they're too predictable with Monty, but you're just overthinking it at that point. Like just they know you're running it. We know we're running it. We're gonna run it up the gut. And you're gonna stop it. And
do you want to know another stat? And I'm gonna tweet this out later, or today or tomorrow because this was a stat that I came up with and I was thinking about. Yeah. David Montgomery this year, he has not scored in 6 games. You've played 10 football games. I think it's 6. Let me double check that. I think it's 6. I think he's only scored in.
Wow, that's really odd.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he hasn't scored in 6 games. In the last 2 seasons before this year, in 2 years, he only didn't score in 9 games in 2 seasons. And
I thought you for a second. When you said, I thought you meant he hasn't scored in 6 games.
No. I'm saying out of the whatever it is, 10 games that they've played this year, 11 games, 6 out of the 10 he has not scored.
See, that's crazy.
Or 6 of the 11 he has not scored.
That's
in the past 2 seasons. It was 9, and in like the whatever it was, 30 plus games that he played in, he only didn't score in 9 out of like the 36 or whatever, 37 games. That is an insane stat right there.
And he's averaging more a carry than he did last year.
Yeah.
So it's not even like he's having a down year. He's averaging 4.5 a carry. I mean, which is, it's kind of crazy.
He scored in 19 to 28 games. So he's almost at a point to where if he doesn't score in 3 more games this year, that's more than the last 2 years. So it's insane. I'm telling you, man. I don't want to say D-Mont's like the missing piece, but it would be like, hey, it'd be cool.
His involvement's disgusting. I mean, it's like I feel bad. Like
that's your power back, and you don't use anything for him. Like you don't at all. Like in the goal line anymore. Like you just don't use him. Like you got stopped inside. Like dude, you had the ball 4th and 5 at the goal. Like you could have just ran the ball with him 4 straight times. Like D-Mont used to be able to get the ball at the 5-yard line and punch it in every time. And you just don't give him the ball anymore there. You don't. You just pass it. And it's insane, man.
Steve Lehman, that's a good comment. They're trying to make Gibbs a feature back and the change of pace at the same time. They're favoring Gibbs catching over Monty's brute force. Because a lot of what they do, they can both catch the ball, though. Like, maybe, obviously, Gibbs is way better. I'm not saying that they're the same playmaker. But Monty's not a bad. I think Monty, there was a stat. He only had like a drop or two. He barely dropped the ball. Like, he's capable. Last year, remember when they used him a lot?
Yeah.
Out the backfield, him catching ball. I mean, he had a couple games this year where he's made some plays. I think it should be
just gone away from him, man. They have.
It should be 60-40, maybe 55-45. Like, give a slight edge to Gibbs, but you can't be. Listen, I love Gibbs, and I know everyone wants to see what he would look like if you gave him a bunch of carries. I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't. I think they're best if he's not overworked. If he's, keep him fresh, give it to Monty. He's really good. He's a really good back. We have Sam Flannel waiting for us. So let's bring him onto the show. Let's talk some ball with him. Before we do, we got to tell you about our friends over at Prestige Worldwide Vending. By the way, we're at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. Got to check out Prestige Worldwide Vending. They have one right in O'Toole's in Royal Oak. It was sweet. It was awesome. If you're a bar owner or you know someone that's a business owner and they're looking to add some spice into their business, I have the perfect company to utilize. See you guys in a minute. Sam Flannel will be joining the program. I've interrupted the show to tell you about our friends over at Prestige Worldwide Vending. State-of-the-art vape vending machines that can boost sales to any venue. Business owners or anyone that has an establishment that customers are coming in and out of, Prestige Worldwide Vending can help not only attract new customers, but keep customers inside your establishment. Nicotine users that leave to go get nicotine, it'll be right in the place they're at. 32-inch touchscreen, customizable advertisement, which is sweet, by the way. Age verification software to scan IDs confirming age, pre-sale if required. You can pay cash, credit, debit, or mobile. Mobile payments are also accepted, and you get paid when they get paid. It's a win-win. You make your customers happy. You make money on the side. And, of course, working with a company like Prestige Worldwide Vending, who is on the up and up, can only benefit your business. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show. Now let's get back to it.
Hey, real quick before we bring Flannel on, can I just give one more DMont stat?
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. Through the first 10 games, I'm going to tweet this out today or as well. Through the first 10 games, Jeff, 125 total touches, carries, and receptions. Let's just real quick before we get Flannel, play a game. How many in 2025 or 24? How many touches? If he had 125 in 10 games this year, how many do you think he had in last season? And in the chat, you guys can drop
10
it too.
games in the same stretch?
In 10 games. First 10 games of the season.
125 this year. I think last year I'd say like 160.
Chat can guess as well. Everyone drop your chat or your guess.
I'll go maybe 170. I'll bump it up. 170.
A lot of people are saying, China, or that's a lot for 10 games. 240. That's like, I don't even know if Saquon gets that
240.
much. 240 is an insane
If this
amount.
was 1985,
so
240 would be a good number.
I will say, so Steve Lehman said 115. So Steve Lehman thinks he had less through 10 games last year. So this year he had 125, Jeff. This last year at this time, 158. So basically 160.
I almost got
it. He had 30 more touches at this time last year. 2 years ago, what do you think it is?
170.
173.
Dude, it's more.
50 more. 2 years ago, he had 50 more touches through 10 games. Offense is unbelievable. And last year, he had 30 more touches. And they're just taking more touches away. Offense is getting worse. I'm not saying DeMont's like the only reason that they're bad or they don't look good, but I think that man is a big reason on why this offense. You have a power back who can punch it inside the 10. You have a guy who can get you 3rd and 2s, 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s, and you refuse to use him. That's coaching. Use him. Dan, if you're listening, use him.
Dan, use him.
All right, let's get Flannel on here. Sorry, I just want to make that point.
It's a great point. That's an excellent point. Steve also said about the amount of touches also when he gets them. I know the Browns game, he got them in garbage time. Like he got touches, Boone, but they was like giving this dude like the I know he was pissed about that. There's no way he wasn't pissed about that. Let's bring on our good friend, Flannel Sam Flannel, former co-host of the Morning Woodward Show, former co-host of Wake Up Woodward. our good friend. We like to scream at him every week. It was also his birthday this weekend, or it was Friday, and we went out on Saturday. We had some fun with Flannel Sam. Flannel, how we doing?
You know, I'm good. I feel like I've seen a lot of you guys lately. I was on your show last Thursday. We saw each other on Saturday, and now it's back on Tuesday. But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a good way to talk out some of our sadness from this weekend. I'll just say that. It's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, there's a lot to discuss, Flannel. I mean, we're in the midst of
yeah.
I don't want to get copyright struck. We're in the midst of discussing this Demon stuff.
Yeah.
What has been kind of your thoughts on this whole thing? Demon, we'll get to the game in a second, but just the underutilization of David Montgomery. What do you think of it?
Well, Booner, I'm so glad that you brought up that stat because I actually have a stat of my own when it comes to David Montgomery. And I'm sure other people have mentioned it, and you guys alluded to it just a couple of minutes ago. In 2 games this year in particular, this last one at Philly and then their game at Kansas City. Those are what we call measuring stick games. These are the last 2 Super Bowl champions. And even though the Chiefs are a little down this year, I would still say that those are their hardest opponents, the Lions, and they had to go on the road for both of them. David Montgomery was criminally underutilized in those games. The way that the game dictated, I think if you ask Dan Campbell, he'd probably be like, man, we should have got David Montgomery the ball more. Because in those 2 games combined, he carried the ball 10 times for 51 yards.
Disgusting.
That's good running, man. That's 5 yards a carry. That's being very, very effective.
Disgustingly good is what I meant, really.
But then, absolutely. But then you're kind of thinking, well, why did they stop going to him? And you can have those discussions because the Lions lost both of those games and their offense gravely underperformed what you think their expectations are, even if their offense isn't quite as good this year. 13 points per game. You scored 17 at Kansas City. You scored a whopping 9 at Philadelphia. And one of the things that you can look at is there was a lot of meat left on the bone when it comes to potential David Montgomery yardage and usage. And it just didn't happen, and it should have.
Flannel, I'm right there with you, man. I don't even know what. Hey, man, I think the craziest part about this, Flannel, too, and I've been pushing this as well. It's just like they haven't been able to convert on short downs, like these 4th downs. They go 0 for 5 and 4th down, and you just don't give even David Montgomery one chance. So he used to be kind of that back that you relied on him in those moments, and they haven't. And they haven't been giving him the ball inside the 5. Like it's just been. I think it's been bad. What are your thoughts, Flannel? Just get your thoughts though on the loss as a whole in this Eagles games. What's your confidence level on this team, and what do you think went wrong in this game as well?
Well, man, I'm not gonna lie. When so many things go wrong, I don't know if it's like this for every analyst, but for me, it's kind of hard for me to really wrap all of my thoughts up and articulate them in a coherent, a coherent and concise manner, because I want to make sure everybody gets what's coming to them. I don't want to make it seem like I'm giving anybody a pass or I'm being too hard on certain people or positional groups. So what I'll do, and then I'll pass it back to you guys, is I'll summarize it in the best way I know how, which is through numbers, which, I'm a big numbers guy. This was the worst Jared Goff game as a Lion and the worst Dan Campbell game as a Lion ever. Even 2021. 2021 was kind of a throwaway. And when I give you these numbers, you'll see why. And I know we kind of already know them, but I wanted to present them. Just like let you all marinate it, let you all hear them, let it kind of hit you back in the face again. Jared Goff had a 38% completion percentage, which is unheard of awful. When targeting Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff's completion percentage was 17%. When pressured, Jared Goff's completion percentage was 0%. 14 times pressured, 0 for 12, 2 sacks taken. And this is the Dan Campbell part of it. The Lions were 0 of 5 on 4th down. That's when you really put it like that, it's even worse than you remember. And we remember it being bad. It was a terrible game to watch. but at least when it comes to watching the offense. But yeah, to me, that was my number one takeaway, at least when it comes to offensively, because the defense was great. I've got nothing but great things to say about the defense. They played their ass off. They kept the Lions in the game early when the Lions offense put them in bad positions, like the pick, the 2 missed fourth downs. But this offense, particularly Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, were just so bad. And I'm not excusing the offensive line. They weren't great either. I'm not taking credit away from the Philadelphia Eagles front 7, which were phenomenal, by the way. But to me, it was the worst Dan Campbell game as a Lion and the worst Jared Goff game as a Lion in the same game. Is that bad? Yes.
Yeah, no. And I think the Dan Campbell stuff to me is I talked about this with Booner, and my takeaway from Dan Campbell as a head coach is I'll start with this. You got to start with the positive. He's a very good head coach. Okay. 100%. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL. The problem I have is when people defend his not his aggressiveness, because I think it's okay to, going for it on fourth down, whatever. I get it. It's who he is. But going for it on fourth down when the game doesn't call for it and then saying that's just who we are, to me, is not a good excuse, given there hasn't been proven success from that. Like, it's not like if they won a Super Bowl already, I'd shut my mouth. They haven't gotten there. And the 2 biggest games, I think, to date, to be honest, like in terms of just like stage and everything, NFC Championship game against the 49ers. There were some Dan Campbell questionable things in that game. I know there was also Josh Reynolds drops, but overall, the Dan Campbell being aggressive and then not wanting to be aggressive at times, it was weird in that game. And they threw the 17-point lead. It wasn't all on Dan, but it was certainly a part of it. And obviously, besides the other playoff games, those are really important. But this Eagles game was a big stage game. He just completely, you're going for it. You're basically treating the game like it's a shootout, and it's not. Points matter. They didn't take the points when they could have had it. What's kind of been my thing is Dan needs to be more like a chameleon. And when the game calls for aggressiveness, you be aggressive. When the game doesn't call for aggressiveness, you don't have to be aggressive. Feels like Dan wants to be aggressive when it calls for it and when it doesn't, which has led to some failures. What's your kind of takeaway with Dan, that mindset, and do you think it's potentially a problem moving forward, or do you just I guess okay with it? Where are you at?
Well, no, I'm certainly not okay with it. I think he needed to do a better job of adjusting, and you pretty much hit it right on the head. What Dan Campbell needed to realize, which maybe he did, but he certainly didn't coach like it, which is something that I think all of us watching realized, is that this game was a true rock fight. Like one of the only ones we've seen the Lions in, just a true, just grimy, gritty, dirty rock fight where the defense was played out of their minds and the offense was absolutely terrible. I think that here, I'll say this. If you want to excuse the first half fourth downs, like the first one was 4th and 1, you expect them to convert. They probably should have handed it to Monty, but they handed it to Gibbs. The second one, I didn't like the fake punt, but still, if you want to excuse those, I'll have that conversation. But in the second half, if you're Dan Campbell, what I think that you need to realize is that you need to put more of a premium on points and field position. Because at that point, your offense isn't really doing anything. They're moving the ball sometimes, but they're certainly not converting on 3rd down and definitely not 4th down. And the defense is making stops. The Lions defense only allowed 3 points in the second half. You look at all of the cases. The first 4th down, it was, I believe, 4th and 5 from the 32. That's not a gimme. 4th and 5, especially with the way the passing attack looked, was not a gimme. In my opinion, that would have been a good time for the Eagles to try a 49-yard field goal, and they didn't do it. And, of course, they gave the ball right back to the Eagles. Fortunately, the Lions defense stopped them. And then the next one, which is probably the most egregious, was the 4th and goal from, what was it? It was the 3. But still, that was not a gimme by any stretch. They're down 13-6. You take the points on that one. And even later on, this was the 3rd drive in a row. It was the 4th down from, what was it? Kind of midfield-ish. I might be a little bit off. And then they don't get that. And then the Eagles are able to march it down for a whopping 25-yard field goal drive, 11-play, 25-yard field goal drive to put the Eagles ahead by 10. And at that point, it was pretty much all she wrote. You can be aggressive if you're Dan Campbell, if the offense is actually performing, if points aren't at a premium. But I think in the second half of that game, the Lions, and particularly Dan Campbell, and I'll put all of it on Dan Campbell because he's the play caller and he's the head coach, needed to adjust his thoughts on the game and realize this is a rock fight. We're not going to score 3 touchdowns in the second half. Points matter. Field position matters. And he just didn't do it. And I think, honestly, if you asked him today, he'd probably be like, yeah, probably should have kicked some more field goals. Maybe he did already say it, but it certainly was not a good Dan Campbell game, and he did not adjust to the rock fight that he was in.
Flannel, how'd you feel about the defensive performance? I know it felt like on the road versus Philly, Kelvin Shepherd had just a hell of a performance or kind of game plan against them. Stop the tush push. Your Jalen Hurts. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts, someone told me today, started like 1 for like 12 or 1 for 13 or 2 for 13. And they kind of just went away from Jalen Hurts and just strictly went to like, hey, let's go Saquon Barkley moving forward. What are your thoughts on how the defense performed on Sunday night?
Unbelievable. There's nothing more that I can say. And honestly, if I were to give the most credit to anyone, Jack Campbell is looking like an all-pro linebacker out there. He's looking like Kuechly-ish or like Lewis-ish or Warner-ish. And hell, maybe by the time his career is said and done, and maybe by the time he hits his actual prime, he will be that. Yeah, the defense did a hell of a job. And as I already alluded to a bit earlier, the offense with the interception, the tipped ball interception, with the 2 4th downs that they missed in the first half, the Eagles only got 6 points out of those. And especially the interception, I think Cooper DeJean took it down to like the 11 or something like that. And the Lions defense didn't let the Eagles in. They did everything that they had to do. And what's funny is, as we always talk about, they had like their whole secondary was gone except for Brian Branch. And they're just playing out of their minds. And it's great to see. And it makes me think that if this offense can get it together a bit, that maybe things will ultimately end up being fine and the Lions can win games off the backs of the defense as long as the offense picks it up a little bit. So yeah, as upset as I am at the offense, I'm as happy about the defense because after all of that, it was a 7-point game. The Lions still could have won if a couple of things would have gone their way, or maybe if the interference wasn't called. I'm not blaming that or anything, but you understand what I'm saying. The defense did a miracle job just to keep the Lions in that game with a real potential chance at the end.
Now, Flannel, what would be kind of what do you need to see over the next stretch of games when they face not only tougher opponents, but because they're going to have the Rams still, which I think is the best team in the conference. You know, they'll face some other teams that are kind of iffy, but could sneak up on you as well. They have still divisional opponents, Green Bay Packers. They have the Vikings again, which I ain't worried about JJ, but I'm just kidding. Actually, he did beat them already. But I the Bears as well to end the year. What do you kind of make of the rest of the year? And what do you need to see from this Lions team to make you more confident that they can have postseason success? What do you need to see?
It's funny because I haven't mentioned them as much as some have and as much as maybe I should have. The thing that worries me the most, and it's we're gonna get a chance to see when they play the Packers, when they play the Rams, I'll even put the Vikings in there and the Bears in there because those are going to be important games, and especially the Vikings, they've got some defensive talent. I want to see how this offensive line responds. Because I have major doubts whether this offensive line is good enough for the Lions to win a Super Bowl, whether it's good enough for the kind of offense that the Lions want to run, whether it's good enough for the style of quarterback that Jared Goff is. It's really been sobering. Like this last game, there was just nothing that the offensive line could do. I mean, the Eagles' front seven, as I mentioned before, whether it was Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis knocking down passes, whether it was Jalen Phillips with a sack, Nakobe Dean with a sack, Zach Bond was obviously all over the field, Jalix Hunt, there was nothing that this offensive line could do. And when it comes to the playoffs, when it comes to the Rams, when it comes to the Packers or even the Vikings, this is what the types of teams and defenses that this Lions offensive line is going to have to face. And isn't it funny that losing Ragnow to retirement, losing Zeitler due to free agency, that hurts like a mofo. There was a lot of copium about it, but it was always going to be a lot tougher. And it was such the engine of the team for years. And obviously Decker's getting more attrition. Penei Sewell's banged up. Mahogany's out, and it's Coyote Awosika. This offensive line, man, I just want to see if they respond, if they can show me something that gives me hope that this is an offensive line that the Lions can win a Super Bowl behind. Because right now I have major doubts, especially given the fact that the 1 seed is it's very unlikely that the Lions will get the 1 seed. And heck, even the division is in peril. Do I expect the Lions to win the division? I still do, but no 1 seed. It's going to be tough to pass the Rams. It could get really dicey if they lose to the Packers on Thanksgiving, God forbid. This O-line, man, is giving me it's keeping me up at night. I'll just say that.
Flannel, I'm just getting a vibe here right now that you're not confident in this Lions team. Are you out on a Super Bowl? Is that what you're that's the feeling I'm getting from you right now. I'm getting a feeling that you're like, this team can't do it. And out of all people who are usually the one that probably would say it first, you pin me as that guy. I've worked with you a long time.
God, it's to me, I can't give you a yes or no answer. I'm just going to say that the fact that they lost that game to the Eagles and they're not going to get the 1 seed, that really dropped them in my eyes, because as much as people like to treat the 1 seed like it's nothing and that pathways don't matter and that going on the road in the playoffs isn't hard and that the Lions could do it because of grit and stuff, pathways matter. And especially with the deficiencies that this offense has that previous year's offense don't have. And I haven't even gotten to when the hell's Sam Laporta coming back? Who knows? My confidence in them making the Super Bowl is, I'm not going to say that they can't. I'm going to say that, man, the percentages dropped precipitously to below 50. I'll just say that, well below 50 on my confidence rating, probably at like 15 to 20%, honestly, at this point.
Flannel, let me get your thoughts to kind of transition here. Pistons have won 10 straight.
Yeah.
What's an expectation for you? I mean, just for the rest of the year and kind of postseason wise, like, has it moved at all? What have you thought about this 10-game win streak? Jaden Ivey coming back. What do you think of this team right now? One of the hottest teams in the NBA.
Man, I mean, first, when you start with the team, they started 9-2, which was awesome. And I think a lot of that was on the backs of Cade Cunningham playing like an MVP. After a little bit of a slow start, especially his last like 5 or 6 games, he was unbelievable. Jaylen Duren being a 20-10 guy looking like an all-star. Asar Thompson being, taking a step in his game as well. It wasn't all on their backs, but I would say primarily on their backs. But in these last few games, particularly this last 3, not counting tonight, the way that the Pistons were able to win all of them with all of those games, no Cade, no Asar, no Tobias. 2 of those games, all of those guys plus Duren. And in one of those games, all of those guys add Duren, add Stu. They were able to win all 3. One of the games, Paul Reed led the Pistons in scoring. That was the Bulls game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Javonte Green led the Pistons in scoring in the 76ers game. And Dennis Jenkins led them in assists in all of those games while also giving them 20-plus points per game. And that's not all, because what they've been able to do in those 3 games is phenomenal with kind of a patchwork team. I also want to give a lot of credit to a couple of the guys that Trajan Langdon signed in the offseason. I mean, Duncan Robinson has done his job. He's given you, I think, 42% from 3 on 7 attempts per game, which is what you signed Duncan Robinson to do, kind of a Malik Beasley replacement. And even Karis LeVert. I know Karis LeVert's availability is up and down, but when he's been on the court in limited minutes, he's given you like 9 points and 3.5 assists per game on efficient shooting. And all of this while the team is second in the NBA in defensive rating. They're for real, man. I don't know if they're going to win the championship this year. I don't know if they're going to come out of the East this year, but this team is for real, and they take these regular season games seriously, and they are going to play hard. It would not shock me at all, especially considering the uncertainty with teams like, well, not even uncertainty, Tatum being out. The Pacers, their whole team has pretty much been dead, and with the most important being Halliburton. The Bucks having no Dame and being an 8-7 team, even though Giannis is a monster. It wouldn't shock me at all if the Pistons end up with a 1 seed. And there's not a team in the East that strikes fear to where I'm like, the Pistons can't beat them. I'm not saying I don't respect Cleveland or I don't respect the Knicks, to name a couple, but the pathway is there. The more I want to talk about, the Pistons probably can't win the East, the more I'm like, why not? If they keep playing the way that they're playing and they get nothing but home court throughout the East, why not? It's been just a pleasure to watch. I have absolutely loved watching this Pistons team. They're dominating the East. They have a 2.5 game lead for the 1 seed, and it's only 14 games in. That's absurd.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you about the Tigers, have you been seeing what's going on with the Tigers? I saw a report today. Jeff Passan put out that the Tigers and Scuba are far apart on a contract. I don't know if you prepped to talk about that and Scuba and that, but how are you feeling? Do you think they get what do you think happens here? We actually were talking about it when we were out for your birthday. A lot of the guys were going back and forth about the Tarek Scuba thing.
God, it's so tough. My instinct
Oh no.
tells me
My instinct tells me went so slow there. I think we lost Flannel.
Wait.
Oh no.
Oh, you just took a deep sigh.
Oh no way this. Is Flannel getting kidnapped right now?
No.
Has the Taliban gotten Flannel?
That did we lost Sam?
Did the Taliban get Flannel?
ETN says it would be hilarious if he still doesn't have a clue. Imagine he's just ranting.
He's just going right now, going off. That would be funny. He there's a chance that there's a chance he is still going.
Wow. He was about to go in too. He could join. I mean, if he wants, he could join back if it's working. Let me see. You could join. We'll see if he'll join back. We'll see, because we can keep talking to Flame. I feel bad. He was about to give his take there, and his internet just took a crap. At least he got the Pistons take out. That's fair. I saw Klotzy in there. Shout out Klotz, man. I saw him. He's in the chat too.
Klotz, by the way, just an all-time turnaround, being like for months, for like 12 months, Jeff and I being like, we like Brian Schottenheimer. We think Dallas is going to be fine. They have the pieces. And Klotz for 8 months saying the most negative things about him and saying how bad of a coach he is and he'll never make it. The text we just received of Klotz being like, I love him, is insane. What a turn. What a turn.
He won the Klotz over.
Just what a turn, man. That's a win for the boys. That's a win for us, Jeff.
Yeah, because he had the post game. The post game speech he had after the Raiders win was good. Oh, Flannel's back.
He's not a bad coach, man.
Let's see Flannel. I think Flannel's good. Flannel?
Flannel, you're back. Did the Taliban get you?
Am I good?
What?
Are you good?
I don't know.
Just, it
might be
Flannel,
my-
you there?
I mean, it. All right. Maybe I'll have to call this one. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm doing.
Flannel, you're hilarious, man. Did you remove him or did Flannel just remove himself?
I know. He said I'm going to call this one.
Oh,
No,
dude.
he wasn't bad. He looked fine.
Yeah, no, he looked good. Flannel, you looked good. Played his left. He looked good. He just went, He just made a noise and just laughed. He barely said any words to test it.
You can't believe that just said
He just said,
Wow. Hashtag. Ugh.
That was
That was yeah,
something.
Shout out, Flannel. We'll have him back next week. I don't know what happened there. He just something was happening in the background too. I don't know if you heard that noise. I think Flannel was getting like.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I think the Taliban might have him. Something's going
He's
on.
like he's either being held hostage or he has a hostage. Something.
What are the odds for which one?
Yeah, shut up, Flannel. Yeah, he'll be joining us.
What if? Hey, how funny would it be? And Flannel, I know you're watching. I love you. I don't mean this with all respect. I think this is just really funny because Buddy put it, or not Buddy, someone put in there and was like, Flannel chatting from his bathroom with the bookcase live backdrop. What if that backdrop was just like his shower curtain? That was just his shower. He's in the bathroom and it's just a shower curtain behind him and it's a bookcase.
Flannel would have you would have a bookcase, a shower curtain, shower curtain, man. Shout out Flannel. That's incredible.
For the longest, dude, I had I think in college, dude, I had like a fish one, a bunch of fish.
I respect that.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
kind of
actually
sick,
respect
dude.
that.
People
I guess
loved it.
we can get to what we can do is we can do our power rankings and we can do like a mailbag.
Yeah, let's do that, man. I'm so interested. Can I ask you a question?
I'm gonna be honest, and I mean this like truthfully. So you sent me your power ranking. I usually get mine done ahead of time. We essentially have the same power ranking. I have a couple teams different, but I think this week we might not argue them. I don't think we're going to argue them.
So
we agree on I think we had two different ones.
Do you want me to go first?
Same teams though.
Do you want me to go first?
Oh yeah. Let me get.
I mean, is there a way to put them up side by side?
No, but it's okay. I mean, you just show off yours, and then I won't. We're gonna
send me them in Slack. I'll put them side by side. We can put them up.
Okay, because
I'll
this
cook
week
that up.
it is one of those weeks we had a couple this year where it's like there's some weeks where it's more debatable. I think this week is pretty. I think the teams there should be the same teams on there because I really thought about it, and I mean I made my top 10, and then I like to look around.
Me too. I look everywhere. I look
pretty much all of them have the same ones.
I think people sometimes think when I do mine, and I think you have this thought too, that I just throw them together. I look at who they've played every week. I redo it. I look at everything. I start from the beginning. It takes me a couple hours, quite frankly, actually, to do my. You text me at what time do you text me? 11 a.m. Send power rankings. I don't send them until 4 or 5 because I'm locked in.
Yeah, we have, bro. Look at ours; they're dead ass the same. I mean, well, two teams are swapped, but they're pretty similar. Because I actually debated on making another change on this list, but I didn't have the argument for it. I mean, it's just I think this is pretty straightforward what I have here. I sent them to you, by the way.
Yeah, if you give me literally like 30 seconds.
I did, by the way. I think the big this is a big moment in power rankings history because it might be the official burial. It might be the official burial
of. Oh, I know. Can I say the team?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
This might be the first time they've never been on Crunch Time's power rankings.
It might be the official burial. It might be the official burial because they they were the only team in my parlay, my money line parlay that didn't cash, but more than that, That game was gross, and they lost that one to the Broncos.
I just sent it to you.
All right.
I think. Wait, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Don't use that. Ignore what I just sent you.
Okay.
I sent you a video.
Etienne says, "Thank you for not listening to me about the Chiefs, Jeff."
Do people think that I don't have the Chiefs on there anymore? How do you know I don't have the Chiefs?
Well, I think this is Etienne just admitting, hey, they're just not as good as they've been.
I just sent it to you, so you should be.
All right, here we go.
Let's see if this works. This is new. This is just me on the spot getting something together here for the boys. How does that look? Bad?
No, we can. I mean, we can use. Look at it. Bang. Let me take this off. Hold on. Boom.
I wish it was bigger. I wish we could.
It would have to, I guess, be side by side, maybe, or I don't know. But regardless, if you full screen the StreamYard, it looks better. I mean, I'm looking at it. I know people at home probably it looks better for them, but this is literally it's identical teams. The only teams I have differently, I think the Bears are better than the Packers, and I think the Broncos are better than the Colts. That's just my opinion. For different.
I think that's fair. The reason I just didn't move the Colts, they just didn't play this week, couldn't prove themselves. You could say like who the Chiefs beat the Broncos beat the Chiefs. So I'm not going to argue with that. Broncos have, but before the Chiefs game, the Broncos really haven't won.
And I'm not doing this because of by the way, Bo Nix looks really bad. It's because, dude, their defense.
Yeah, no, I'm with you,
dude. That defense is so.
I think like just both. Honestly, like I'll say this, like I'll give credit where credit's due, man. Like that 3, 4, and 5 team, man. Those are 3 teams that I don't know if anyone thought they were going to be legit like contenders. Maybe the Broncos, are one, and all 3 of those teams only have 2 losses. And the Patriots and the Broncos are 9-2, and the Colts are 8-2. And I know the Eagles and the Rams are 2 losses as well, but the fact that the Patriots are sitting there at 9-2 with an 8-game win streak, and the Broncos have an 8-game win streak is unbelievable. Like you could make an argument, I would love to see one of those teams, the Patriots or the Broncos, go up against like the Rams. I would love to see it.
The other one when I was making my power ranking, the one team I was debating, and this is why it's just like I think this is just the correct list. Is I was thinking of moving the Bills, putting the Bills one high. Like I was going to put them over the Seahawks, but you can't discount the Seahawks lost by 2 points, and they look better than the Bills. I mean, it's hard to even.
The Seahawks played the number 1 team.
And I can't put the Lions over the Bills because the Lions, like the Bills, they've won more games. Obviously, that's big fact. But on top of that, they're coming off a big win over the Bucs. So it's like,
why?
Okay.
So you know why I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say.
The reason why I have the Bears over the Packers, and I know people, as of right now, the Bears, whether people, and I know that this is probably bad for my narrative, obviously. This is but no, what were we gonna say?
You've based yours. You've built a consistent reasoning on what you do with your power rankings, and you personally base yours off of who they've beat. The Bears haven't beat anyone. The only good team they've played is probably the Lions and the Ravens, and they've lost to both. To where the Packers, they've lost tough games, like they lost 10-7 versus the Eagles. But they also beat decent teams like the Steelers and the Lions. So it's hard, like, at least like in my opinion, the reason I have the Packers above it, and I think you could go either way, I guess. The only reason I'm going to go the Packers above is because we've seen them actually beat a good team. Like they've beat a team in our top 10. The Bears haven't. And that's what makes it just tough to me, to where it's like the Bears they're good. They're winning games and they're finding ways. Just the only issue is it's like they're sneaking by versus bad teams. That's why I almost didn't put them in there because of that. Because it's like they just keep sneaking by. If they were dominating those teams, I would no question. No question.
I think it's it's kind of similar to me. Like the reason I have it as of week 12. So let's take the last 3 weeks, for example. The Bears are 3-0, and I know they haven't played great opponents, but and they've beaten them. The Packers are 1-2, and they did lose to the Panthers. So I think that they lost. They only won by 7 against the Giants.
Now, do you see my argument then for a couple of weeks ago with the Chiefs, where I was like, take away the beginning of the season and just do the last few weeks, and you were like, no, that you can't do that. Now you're doing that for the Bears.
I mean, even the beginning of the year, like I think the Packers have not looked. They've been shaky pretty much all.
They
year.
have, but like if the Packers and the Bears went up against each other, I'm guessing the Packers would be favored.
Well, yeah, but
they're just a better team at the end of the day, and the Bears just are against good or bad teams. The Bears are just getting it done. Which
like
I'm with you, like the Packers, man. But you could say like they're 1-2, but they played the Eagles.
7 of 8. They've won 7 of 8 games. You know,
Yeah,
the Packers are
for them.
2-2 over the last 4. You know, like they look worse, and they I mean, that Jameis game was a good game till the end. Like they almost lost to the Giants too. And I know Jordan Love left the game, but still, like, and they just don't look good. Like, I think it's close. And I'm just giving the edge to the team that's way hotter. They're just a hotter team right now. The Bears have won 7 of 8 games. So it's like, I'm just giving it to the hotter team right now, to be honest. That's really that was my deciding factor. I'm not saying it's like, oh, easy decision, but I'm just giving it to the team that they just keep winning games, man. I don't know. They just keep winning games. I had them in like the top 13, 14 last week, but it's like, I got to put a team in there that's like top 5 in the entire league in record wise. Like, and they just keep winning. Now, do I think water will find its level or whatever the saying is? Yeah. Like they play the Steelers, the Eagles, and the Packers. They'll probably go 1-2 in those games. Like, I think it'll probably even out, but right now, bro, they're hot. Like they're red hot. So it's like, that's where I leaned with it. Like, if you want to take the Packers, it's like, fine. I just, and I'm not even by the way, I didn't even do this with the Josh Jacobs stuff because you know how I am with it. Like, I try not to factor in like Josh Jacobs out. They stink. Like the Packers, I try to take the whole season into account. I don't want to just discount them. I'm not even doing it because of Josh Jacobs. I'm just doing it because of how they've looked. Like, to be honest,
that's fair. I just think go either way. I'm just going Packers. I just think strictly, I think they have a better team. So that kind of puts me there, and I think they've had the better wins. But again,
fair. I don't hate it.
But I do see what you're saying. The Bears are right now. They've won 7 of the last 8. I just go off like your logic. They haven't played anyone, and they've just beaten good teams or bad teams, and they've snuck by those bad teams. If they would have won some of those games, Jeff, I'll be honest with you. If they would have beat some of those bad teams and they won 7 of their last 8, they beat them by 7, 10, like a couple of those games. But the problem is, like, I probably would have put them higher, to be honest. Like, maybe not above the Lions, but I probably would have put them at 9. But like, dude, you got to look at like the Vikings, 19-17, like a 2-point win.
It's not.
Giants a 4, Bengals a 5 or 4-point win. I'm just giving examples, and then they lose to the Ravens.
No,
every single one is like a 1 to 4-point win, and that's it. And it's like, man, like they're getting it done, but they're doing it in ugly ways versus bad teams.
But that's why they're 7-3 and they're at 9. Like a 7-3 team, if the Lions are 7-3, they'd be top 5. But that's why they're not as high. You know, does that make sense? Like, that's why I have them at 9, or you have them at 10, is because their record's top 5, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get what you're saying. That's fair. When we were arguing the Chiefs, we were arguing if they were top 5, and that's when I brought up, like, okay, I mean, like, who have they played? You know, like.
Sorry, way louder than I thought. Why don't we have the ding anymore? Ding ding. Why is that going?
I cleared. I'll add the ding.
Can we get the ding? Because I wanted to hit you with the ding.
Yeah,
I was ready to hit you with the ding, and I accidentally clicked the DJ horn. DJ horn was way too much in that moment.
Hey, by the way, I think we could say R.I.P. the Chiefs, man. R.I.P. the Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs, man. It was a good run.
Home of the Chiefs. They're off the top 10 officially.
Man, I love Andy Reid too, man. Love me some Andy Reid. Love me some Kelsey, man. Some Mahomes. Some Noah Gray, man.
I'm just
some
saying,
Justin Watson, man.
I'm just saying, I know what you're going to say to this, but I'm going to say it. This top 2 has looked like Jeff's the last 2 weeks. Okay, can we admit this top 2 has looked like Jeff's the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want? You want a cookie, man? You want me to get like? You want to take a victory lap?
No,
things have played out real good for you, huh? Congrats, bud. But hey, also go throw that back up.
Oh, hold on. Yeah,
3 and 4 looks like Boone's the last 2 weeks, huh? Because you had them at like 9 and 10, being like they are winning, but they're just not that good.
Patriots were in my.
They weren't in your top 5, man. You had the Patriots and Colts out, and you've always told me.
No, the Colts
They
literally
need to win better games.
They were 4 and
I'm
5.
talking about a couple weeks ago. We had an argument where you're like, they just need to beat better teams, and I was like, all right, fair, watch. And now you having the
week prior. Yeah,
Can I just get a little credit? I mean, you had the Patriots outside the top 5. You had the Colts outside the top 5.
Yeah, no. Hey.
Look at what I did for you. I went Rams Eagles just for you. You can't at least be like, Boone.
I give it. No, hey.
Well, you don't even have the Colts in the top 5. Oh, you have them at 5. Yeah, you do. Okay. Yeah. At least give my Patriots some credit, man. And my Colts some credit.
Yeah,
Xavier, I did have the Chiefs 5. But if you did tune into the show last week, I didn't yell at Jeff about the Chiefs top 5.
It was the no arguing.
I said, listen, I'm not going to argue with you. I said, I said, listen, they're not a top 5 team. Out of respect for my take, I've stood on it. I have to have them at 5. If I didn't make the whole issue weeks ago, they would have been probably 8 last week for me. So if you watch last week's show, that's what that was the kicker of it all.
It's the Chiefs, bro. Like every week that goes by, and then this isn't me. I'm hoping now you can see what I'm saying. I'm not even trying to argue with you.
I thought they were actually good, man.
Every week that goes by, they still haven't beaten a good team. They just like besides.
And you know who they play this week, right?
The Colts.
The Colts. So
they've lost to the Bills. They've lost to the Broncos. They lost to early in the year Philly and the Chargers. It's just I don't know.
One last time. Hold on. Can we just one last time, please? Just
It's just they still.
Jeff, one more time. Hold on. Last time this season. How about those Chiefs?
They still, that was
man.
That game was disgusting. By the way, that Broncos game, that was disgusting.
Oh, it was. Good for the Broncos. Good for Bo Nix, man, getting the job done versus that Chiefs team.
Did you see what Andy Reid said? By the way, dude, they asked him about running the ball, and he said, "Well, run plays are being called, but the quarterback's checking out of them." That's what he said. Patrick's
checking out.
Because he threw the ball 45 times in the game.
It's like when you play. I don't know if you've ever on college football, like you do my road to glory, and you do quarterback, and when you get to a certain point, you're able to call your own plays at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. And every time, they just keep calling run plays, and you're just going, and then just the running back at the end of the season has 10 carries.
That's just how because I don't think they ran the ball that bad actually against the Broncos. I think Kareem averaged.
We are calling them quarterbacks checking out of them.
Well, he said it more like he was like we are calling run plays, but he said something about quarterbacks nowadays everyone wants to throw the ball or said something like it was like a passive aggressive we are calling them
kind of crazy.
Yeah, you have never seen Andy Reid like that call out.
No, never, man.
So it's they're it didn't work out. Bo Nix did. I mean, he's just.
Finds a way, dude. That's the crazy thing. It's like he just, I don't understand how he's just bad all game, and then all of a sudden we'll just have one good drive at the end of every game.
Yeah, he's good in the late, the fourth quarter. He's shit all game, and then
think about how good they would be if he did that every possession. With that defense, they would win a Super Bowl. Yeah. I might bet on them to win the Super Bowl.
If they had a good quarterback, a really good quarterback, that team would be a Super Bowl team.
Can I ask you in the chat something real quick too? Side quest.
Yeah.
College football. I've been looking to maybe potentially play some future bets for a national championship as we get closer. First team I was thinking of. I'm just trying to think of teams with value. Texas Tech, plus 1,700. Is that a crazy one?
That's really good value. I mean,
they've lost one game versus Arizona State, but every game they've played, they've blown every team out. BYU.
They look really good. They look really good.
Yeah,
at those odds, you're talking about just value.
They have the 10th worst or the 10th best odds, plus 1,700. Also, another team. Well, two teams. Georgia at plus 1,000 or plus 1,100. Thoughts?
Georgia, I mean, dude, Gunner?
They've only lost to Bama. And then the only other team I was looking at, Ole Miss.
Ooh,
Because the thing is like I don't want to bet. Like I'll give you the odds real quick. Like Jomo put Indiana. The thing is, it's like if I'm gonna do it, like I want to bet. I'm gonna bet 2 teams, right? I want to bet 2 teams that I get.
What are
like
the top 5? Like what are the favorites?
So it's Ohio State is
like
plus
Indiana,
190.
Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State's plus 190. Indiana's plus 500. I took both of them out because they're pretty. The odds are tough. The first team that I thought of was the third team was Texas A&M at plus 800. Notre Dame is plus 900. And then you got Georgia at plus 1,000. That was the team where I was like, plus 1,000 Georgia, like that could be something. Oregon is plus 1,200. I don't think Oregon can win it with Dante Moore, personally. Texas Tech is the next one at plus 1,400. And then you have Alabama at 1,600 and Ole Miss at plus 1,700. Those are the teams that
Texas Tech has allowed the least amount of points in the entire Big 12. I mean,
they have the first best defense in the NFL and the third best rushing defense or in the NFL in college football. They're insane. And then their offensive score, like they score. Right now I have Texas Tech and Oklahoma. I want to pick between Bama and Georgia, I think, is the third team that I bet on. And I just roll with those 3 teams.
Georgia's always like a good sprinkle. Like they've won 6 straight. Yeah.
What's a better chance, Georgia or Bama?
You see Bama did the trick play?
Yeah, they did. I think I'm just gonna you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put 3 futures on. I think I'm gonna go Georgia, Texas Tech, and Ole Miss.
I would trust probably Kirby Smart if I'm going like Jen. I love what Bama.
And Georgia's my dog. Like not my dog, but like my I need them to win. Texas Tech and Ole Miss are like kind of my sprinkle.
Because they beat, I think Georgia, didn't they? They beat Ole Miss, didn't they?
They did, yes. Are those 3 teams good teams to roll with for the rest of for college football playoffs? Those are my 3.
Yeah.
I like those 3 teams. Watch all 3 get bounced in the first round.
Too. Texas isn't. I mean, they're overrated this year, but yeah, I mean, they blew out Texas. Gunnar Stockton's really good.
Those are gonna be my 3. I'm gonna roll with those 3.
I like it.
Thank
how
you.
about your Michigan Wolverines, huh?
Yeah, you know what? I got an
5
argument.
turnovers, they still win.
At dinner when we were out at wherever we were in Royal Oak, I got in an argument with Caleb and Flannel and Nick. I
love Sharon Moore.
Listen, they were like, "Why are you, Booner? Why are you upset about the win? Why like they won?" Like, if you guys truly want to look in the mirror and be like, yeah, no, this team can win a national championship, then you're lying to yourself. 1. And if you want to look yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, no, you're going to win a national championship in the future with Sharon Moore, you're probably lying to yourself. Like, he doesn't win games. Like, he almost just lost to Northwestern. And people are like, Bryce Underwood's the one that, like, people are just like, Bryce Underwood's the one that threw the interceptions, the 5 interceptions. Like, as a coach, have your players ready. Put your players in a position to be great. There's no reason. Like, they just weren't prepared at all. They weren't prepared at all for that game. It was kind of embarrassing, to be honest.
Yeah, that's offensively. I mean, Bryce Underwood, the problem is, I don't know if it's like sometimes in the second half they get too predictable offensively or whatever it is, but he's just, I mean, he hasn't thrown a touchdown in 3 weeks. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that offense, honestly.
I mean, the offense looked fine when Sharon Moore was suspended, so maybe they should suspend him again.
He hasn't thrown a
touchdown. Can we get Biff in there?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, with Biff, they was throwing a touchdown.
He was running too. He looked good.
Yeah, because he had 2 rushing touchdowns last 3 games, but he had 0 passing touchdowns, 3 picks.
It's unbelievable. Drop some mailbag questions, by the way, too.
By the way, Patty Graham says, mailbag, when's the next time the Pistons lose? You know what? Let's look at it right now.
Look at their schedule.
Yeah, let's see. So they play.
Probably, honestly, do you want me to be honest with you on a real answer with that? Probably like,
they play,
probably like February. They play Milwaukee next. That's going to be it. Dude, they have 3 days off too.
That'll be a great. Their next couple games will be. You'll get a better idea. I mean, Milwaukee. I think they beat Indiana. Obviously, Boston. They're in
Miami.
Boston.
I bet you they lose in this next 4-game stretch.
Milwaukee, I think they could lose that game.
Yeah, Milwaukee, Boston.
Giannis is always just a bad match. He's just a terrible match.
Yeah, I think Orlando's a good team too. So that's one. Desmond Bane, I feel like, is always a Pistons beater, man.
Yeah, like Giannis will have like 34.
Oh, Giannis is out, actually. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so that's a win.
Never mind. I don't know, actually, when they lose. I mean, these games look winnable, man.
Yeah, dude, I did it. This is why I'm not betting for the next couple of days. I'm taking some time off. I did a double-double parlay yesterday, and everything hit. I had Josh Giddey double-double. I don't know, Karl Anthony Towns double-double. I had Jokic triple-double. And then I had Giannis double-double. And, like, every other sports book, if a player gets hurt early in the second, they give you, like, they're like, hey, you'll get your money back. FanDuel's the only one that doesn't do that. The man had like 14 and 6 in the first quarter and got hurt.
Yeah, no.
Just got nothing. It was just I was like, I'm done, man. My luck is just out.
No,
right
dude,
now.
he was balling.
Yeah. My luck is out.
My luck is out. I've actually never heard you say that.
It is. I've
never seen you defeated before.
I talked to Hanch today. Hanch was like going over plays with me, and I just told him, I'm out. I'm out. I'll see you Saturday morning. We'll talk bets Saturday. I'm out for 4 days.
Jesse has 2 comments. The team that will get worked in the first round of the playoffs if they get there. That team. Oh, he's talking about Texas,
Michigan,
or Michigan. Like it's down. Like if it's down at Georgia, is it fair to say? I think is he talking about Michigan? He says, I love how national media blows more, but every Michigan fan I know hates more of all types of levels. Some of them really hate that cat, man.
I hate him. I just maybe I don't know. Some stories, some things that I've heard too. There's a lot of things about him.
That Nick and the boys had when we were out was like true freshman quarterback. They're 8-2 or whatever. I mean, it's like,
I get it. Like you're only going to get better with him, but it's just like, to me, it's like, do you have any trust in Sharon Moore? Like like I'm not talking about recruiting,
like,
all that. He's good at that. It's more so like, do you have any trust on the field in a game situation with Sharon Moore? Like the timeout that he called, essentially, like what are you trying to stop the clock? Like he has no feel for the game.
I'll say, do you feel confident do you feel confident from a coaching standpoint that if he matches up with some of the best coaches in college football, that
no.
He can be the best coach on the field.
Did you hear what I said at dinner the other night too? Like I told them, I said, what do you, and they're like, what are you going to do then? I said, I don't know. You fire him and you go get a top 10 coach in football. And you give like the biggest bag to Lane Kiffin, even though he wants to be in the SEC. How much is the SEC paying you? Oh, well, guess what? We're Michigan. We have more money. Here's a bag. I don't know. Maybe just an idea.
Bryce Underwood would make a dude want to come there.
Yes, dude.
If you were to stay there.
You can give yourself a top 10 coach. Sharon Moore's like a top 60 head coach in college football. He's not going to outcoach anyone, dude. He gets outcoached by Washington last year. He's got outcoached by USC this year. He got outcoached by Northwestern this year. It's just like, at what point? Like, I get it. We're winning, and that's what those boys were telling me. Like, Boone, we're at least winning. He's a freshman.
You're settling.
But it's like, dude, like I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to win 10 games every year for the next 10 years. Like, I'm trying to win another national championship.
Sounds like they're settling to me, Boone. That's what it sounds like.
I told them, I said, you guys remember that night that we had when we won the national championships? Drinking champagne, smoking cigars. Like, do you guys remember that night? And they said, yeah, one of the greatest nights I've ever had. And we all spent it together. I said, you just don't want to do that again? You don't want that feeling again? And they go, no, we do, but he's a freshman. It sounds like you don't want that moment again. I do.
He just wants better for his team, man.
Yeah.
Just says that he's not a good recruiter. They just have a bigger bag.
Well, I mean, he's good. He's getting players.
They can buy him out, bro.
Oh, you easily could buy him out. The thing is, it's like I told Flannel, I was like, if you lose to Ohio State, you just let him go and move on. And he's like, well, no, because it's Ohio State. If they lose to Maryland, I'm like, no, dude. Like, if you go 9-4 or whatever, 9-3, like 9-3, sorry, like that's disappointing. It is, in my opinion. 3 losses.
So
Bama's coach would be fired if they had 3 losses this year.
Raise the standard, man. Could have talked to
Hashtag.
Flannel about that. We'll talk to Flannel next week. We got the doc tomorrow, 8:45.
Oh,
the DOC. So we will be live tomorrow with the DOC to talk all things Lions. You're not going to want to miss it. Until then, we appreciate you all. Hit that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
pineapple.
Get your
ZBD.
merchandise too. officialctsports.com. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Love you guys.